Welcome to Exponential News, your daily dose of what's happening at the edge of the exponential age. We break down the latest in AI, crypto, space, and frontier tech so you don't miss the signal in the noise.
All right, let's just take a look at this for a second. This is the news from just one day, August 9th, 2025. It's a lot, right? It's just a wall of noise. But that's what we're here for. We're going to find the signal in all this chaos.
So here's the game plan. We've broken down all that noise into three big signals. First up, the AI everywhere war. Then we'll talk about how finance is moving on chain, and we'll wrap up with some mind-blowing breakthroughs that are literally remaking our world. Let's jump in.
Okay, signal number one, the AI everywhere war. And look, this isn't some distant sci-fi thing. This is happening right now. We're talking about AI getting baked into the biggest platforms you and I use every single day.
So let's kick things off with Apple. They're putting GPT-5 right into the next iPhone. And the number you need to know is 45%. That's how much less likely this new AI is to, well, make stuff up, to have factual errors. That is a huge jump in reliability, and it's about to be in the hands of hundreds of millions of people. But what Apple's doing here is really interesting. It's this tightrope walk. On one hand, they're giving you all this insane power, right? A smarter Siri, live translation on FaceTime. But on the other hand, it's all about privacy. They're masking your IP address, they're not storing your requests with OpenAI, and hey, if you don't want it, it's optional. They're trying to give us the cake and let us eat it too. All the power, but with all the privacy. And this AI war isn't just about our phones. It's hitting e-commerce big time. I mean, look at Shopify. They just dropped some huge Q2 numbers, almost $2.7 billion in revenue. But honestly, that number isn't even the main story here. The real story is how they're doing it and the huge bet they're placing on AI. And that bet, it's all about this idea they're calling agentic commerce. So what is that? Well, think about it. Soon, instead of going to a website and typing in a search bar, you'll just talk to an AI. You'll say, hey, find me some new running shoes. And Shopify, they're building the plumbing to make that work, to turn a simple conversation into a sale. This isn't just a small change. It's a completely different way of thinking about shopping online. And you can't talk about the AI war without talking about Meta. This really shows you it's not just about adding features. It's an arms race for talent in tech. I mean, $65 billion invested in AI, and they just snapped up this little startup called Waveforms that can detect emotion in your voice. So Meta doesn't just want an AI that talks to you, they want an AI that gets you, that sounds human. The race is on, and it is getting seriously intense.
All right, let's switch gears. That was AI. Our second big signal for the day is how finance is moving on chain. For a long time, there's been this big wall between traditional finance, Wall Street, and the crypto world. Well, that wall is coming down, and these two worlds are starting to merge. And it's happening fast.
So why is this happening now? Well, this chart says it all. Just look at the daily trading volume. On decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, you're seeing almost $13 billion a day. Compare that to the old-school centralized exchanges at $3.5 billion. It's not even close. The money is flowing to decentralized systems. So if you're one of the big guys, what's your next move? You follow the money, right? That's exactly what Coinbase is doing. They're now letting you trade directly on those DEXs right from their app. So instead of just a few hundred tokens, you suddenly have access to millions. And they're making it easy. They handle the messy stuff like network fees and pull in liquidity from all over. It's a smart move. They're blurring the lines to make sure you stay within their world. And this isn't just about individual traders anymore. The big players, the institutions, they're jumping in. And this is all from the same day. We've got two publicly traded companies making massive bets on Solana. First, iSpecimen, a company on the NASDAQ, is putting its $200 million corporate treasury on Solana. Then you have Exodus from the New York Stock Exchange tokenizing its own stock on Solana. And why? They both say the same thing. It's fast and it's secure enough for the enterprise. And just in case you weren't convinced that serious money is taking this seriously, check this out. The Sui blockchain just got a huge stamp of approval. We're talking about a regulated Swiss bank, Signum, that's now offering custody for the Sui token. Now, why is that such a big deal?
Because for institutional money, for the really big funds, words like regulated and Swiss bank are pure gold. It's the secure, trusted on-ramp they've been waiting for to get into Web3.
Okay, on to our third and final signal. Now, this one's a little different. It's not one single trend. It's more of a rapid-fire look at the incredible pace of breakthroughs happening all at once across totally different areas. So buckle up. Let's look at what's changing our world as we speak.
First up, in biotech. Researchers at Scripps have built a platform that evolves proteins, get this, 100,000 times faster than what happens in nature. So what does that actually mean for us? It means that developing drugs for things like cancer or for fighting superbugs, timelines could go from years down to just months. 100,000 times faster. That's just mind-bending.
Next up, something that could be a total game changer for millions of people. You know, anyone who's constantly looking for their reading glasses. The FDA just gave the green light to VizOons. These are the first ever eye drops for age-related vision loss. And it's so simple. You just put in the drops, 30 minutes later you can see clearly, and it lasts for about 10 hours. No more glasses.
Meanwhile, over in Beijing, the future literally just opened its doors. The world's first ever store for humanoid robots is now open for business. And you should really think of it like a car dealership. You can go in, check out over 100 different models from 40 different makers, get service, parts, the whole shebang. This is how robots start leaving the research labs and start walking into our living rooms. So with all this crazy innovation happening, you might wonder, how's the economy holding up? Well, surprisingly well, actually. A whopping 63% of S&P 500 companies beat their earnings estimates. That's way higher than the historical average. And what that tells us is that companies are healthy, and they have the cash to fund all this incredible tech we've been talking about.
So let's zoom back out. Remember that wall of noise we started with? When you actually look for the signal, you find these three massive waves all hitting at once. You've got the AI everywhere war, which is changing how we interact with technology. You've got finance literally being rebuilt on chain. And then you have this explosion of breakthroughs in biotech, robotics, you name it, that are reshaping the physical world around us. And just think about it. This was all from one day. So the real question is, if this is the new normal, this constant fire hose of change, what's next? What does tomorrow even look like? That's it for today's Exponential News. To dive deeper and see how we're building in public, visit exponentialtom.com and join our community.